The Cleveland Browns defeated the Pittsburgh Steelers yesterday 13-10. You had said 16-13 Browns. I had said 16-13 Steelers.
Yeah.
It became apparent not that long into the game, there's no way in hell 29 points are going to be scored today. It's just not happening. I mean, there's old school, and then there is, are we watching soccer? Are we watching baseball? Like, where are the points in this game? It really was something, though, because as you said, I think you said it in the viewing room, the Browns out-Steelered the Steelers.
Yeah.
Because when I got Myles Garrett on the phone, that's the first thing I said to him. I said, well, you out-Steelered the Steelers. He said, oh, so that's what we're calling it? It's like, hey, if it works. He said, okay, fine.
I like it.
But they did.
They did.
They did. Because the Browns are up 10-0, and then inevitably, here come the Steelers.
Right.
And it's just the Browns hung around. They finally got their opportunity.
Weathered the storm of the Steelers coming back and getting all the momentum, and they hung in there.
And they just kept stifling the Pittsburgh offense.
Yes.
At every turn. Jalen Warren was getting it done and nobody else.
Yes.
And you can't expect to win a game if nobody else on offense is contributing. And it's because of the Cleveland defense.
That's right.
Like you said, best in the NFL.
Yeah.
They'll put the clamps on anyone.
They will.
So they do just enough on offense.
Right.
Dorian Thompson-Robinson builds a tremendous amount of confidence. It will serve him well as the games unfold.
That's right.
You look at their upcoming schedule. They're at Denver, which all of a sudden,
pretty good game.
Man.
Old school,
Whoa.
late 80s. Browns getting good again.
Wear the uniforms you wore yesterday, Browns, for that one.
Seriously.
And then they play the Rams. And what I asked Garrett yesterday, because I saw that on the schedule, I peeked ahead on the schedule just looking for ideas to ask him. I was like, hey, they're staying out there. And think about that. And we talked about it last night when we do the thing over there at the big desk. Devin McCourty said at one point in 2014 they had one of those.
Yeah, double
and they
West
stayed,
Coast trips.
And the value of that.
Yeah, right. We see the 49ers do that.
Where you're together.
Yeah.
And not just training camp, not just October, when you're getting ready for the stretch run.
Right.
And you're all together. And everybody kind of signs on to the same mission.
Right. There's nothing
that
else
is going to be
do.
potentially
Let's play
huge
ball.
for them.
Let's get together. Right. Yeah.
In part because they got the win yesterday. I mean, it's a different vibe altogether if the Steelers win that game. But the Browns go to 7-3, and hey, I think you have to take the Browns very seriously.
Agreed.
Because if you don't, they'll beat you.
Agreed.
And when you look at the other teams right now in the AFC, they can beat any of those teams. Any of them. They can beat the Dolphins. They can beat the Chiefs. They can beat the Jaguars. They can beat the Texans.
They can beat the Ravens.
They can beat the Ravens, as we just saw last week. And for them to pivot from beating the Ravens, losing Deshaun Watson, and refocusing with the rookie quarterback and beating the Steelers, it really was amazing. And we got to get used to that. Remember, we went through the whole thing with we can't get used to the Bengals being good. I can't get used to looking at that uniform and associating it with good team. You better do it with the Browns. And I know a lot of you out there have been watching the Browns for a long time and you don't associate it with good team. Get used to it. Associate the Browns with good team. I look for a Browns jersey for you, too. Imagine this. A store at the airport in Pittsburgh didn't have a Browns jersey. They had plenty of others. They had Mac Jones jersey. It could have got you a Mac Jones jersey. It could have got you an Aaron Rodgers jersey.
Browns.
There's no Browns in there. No Browns to be seen.
No market for that in that airport there. You should take the Browns seriously. They're, as we've discussed a lot, extremely talented across the board. It's one of the best O-lines in the game. We've talked Njoku's a really damn good tight end, and the receivers are good. You know, the running backs are good. Bill Callahan, the offensive line coach, is one of the best in football. The defense with Schwartz and what he's doing on that side of the ball. The front seven's as good as anybody in football. And the secondary, in my opinion, especially the corners, might be the best in football. They put a ton of pressure on you. I always bring up, they remind me of the 2015 Broncos in a lot of ways. Offense is kind of but the defense is going to make plays, hit you, cause some turnovers. They didn't cause any turnovers yesterday, but to what you said, it was smothering of the Pittsburgh Steelers on offense in every facet except for 3 plays the whole game. It was a run by Jalen Warren, another run by Jalen Warren, and I think a screen pass to Jalen Warren. Third and long.
Where the whole game was all Pittsburgh did on the offensive side of the ball. We know the Pittsburgh offense isn't great, but it had been better as of late. You know, and that certainly didn't happen yesterday. And the Steelers took a page out of the Browns took a page out of the Steelers playbook. Hang in there, hit, physical.
long drives, right? Chew up some clock. Game gets, down towards the end. Can we be clutch and go down and win the football game? And we've seen them do that a few times this year. They beat the 49ers late in a football game, and here they are. They beat Pittsburgh late in a football game. I am with you, like we talked about earlier in the show. Run game, defense, right? That translates to NFL playoff football, especially when the weather gets cold. And, I think Cleveland, again, I'm not going to say they're in the Super Bowl hunt with DTR at quarterback, but win a playoff game, be a pain in the butt for the best teams in playoffs, certainly. And with that defense, you never know what can happen.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.